Daddy's Money by me, Vicki Baylis. Chapter 1. The Nanny. She was most uncomfortable with someone touching her face. Adding to the stress were all the people surrounding her during her 15 minutes of fame. The flamboyant male assisting her with makeup puzzled her mind. Why hadn't someone already told him how ridiculous he looked dressed in all those blue feathers? Where were his friends? She never fancied herself with television or the actors who entered the television sets each day. In her view, the noise coming from today's Hollywood crowd was contributing to the downfall of society. She was also trying to keep up with the overly skinny young woman holding tightly to a clipboard. But between the makeup artist applying enough makeup for 4 people and the instructions about what to do once on stage, her patience was wearing thin. Perhaps that is why she said what she did. Young man, stop this instant and take a good look at yourself in that mirror. Why on earth are you wearing those ridiculous feathers? Several onlookers gasped with surprise, but truth be known, they too were wondering. Somehow, in today's world of political correctness, observations of this nature were best not voiced for fear of being sued or worse, being portrayed as a bigot. This was certainly never the intentions of Eleanor Sims. Instead, she had the innate ability to see through the eyes of those in pain and those who just needed an ear to listen. Mrs. Eleanor Sims, age 68, was known for speaking her mind, and this young man would be no exception. After regaining his composure, he tried to act unbothered by her statement. In front of the few remaining staff members who could not step away due to their jobs, he responded, "I'm expressing myself," and he began to fluff the colorful feathers that covered his neckline. "Well, then tell me, young man," she asked, "what exactly are you trying to express?" "Don't you get it? I'm gay." He continued to act as if she were the one with the problem. "I see," she said with a little nod. They were interrupted once more by the woman holding the clipboard, who was holding up 5 fingers, implying 5 more minutes for Eleanor soon. Eleanor turned and continued her conversation with the man who was standing in front of her as if he dared her to continue talking. Eleanor never bowed down when she felt the person really needed honesty, and this young man needed all she had. "Young man," she paused, "if you put the feathers on me, would you think I'm gay?" He opened his mouth to speak words he had already rehearsed many times in his head, but realized they did not address the question. He stepped back, somewhat taken by her simple yet meaningful thought. She continued, "My point is, dear, the feathers make you look like nothing more than a schoolchild playing dress-up." With slightly slumped shoulders, he returned the makeup to the counter, then removed the plastic covering from around her neck. She gently patted his arm before being assisted out of the chair to go on stage. Those within earshot were desperately trying to hear what Eleanor was saying, but to no avail. Their brief conversation would remain between them and only them. Once again, she was correct in her observation of a young man coming to terms with his life struggles. The lights were more blinding and the crowd's applause a little louder than she had imagined as she made her way to the host of the show, who was standing up waiting to greet her as she approached. She smiled sweetly as she passed by little Timmy and his slightly older sister, Margaret Ann Bohannon. Seated next to the children were their parents. Dr. Cliff Bohannon rose gently to embrace the woman who had single-handedly turned his family situation around during the previous year. Welcome, welcome to the show. The gracious host extended her arms to hug Eleanor. Thank you, the nervous guest responded as she took her seat. The children could not contain their excitement any longer and sprang from the couch they shared with their parents to hug her as she settled into her chair. I missed you, Mrs. Eleanor, Timmy said, echoed by his sister. Me too, me too. The audience once again began to clap. Oh my, you two have grown a foot since I saw you last. What have you been eating? Eleanor asked the children. Carrots and beans, Timmy blurted out. The audience laughed at the honesty of the child. A very pregnant Mrs. Bohannon nudged the children back to their seats. The host began recalling some of the facts that led this everyday nanny to her recent spotlight. Let's take a look at the Bohannon story, the host announced. I hope you liked it. I'll continue reading tomorrow. Have a good one. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about this book. Thank you.